The Doug Ford government is considering bringing forward legislation that could prohibit the installation of bike lanes when lanes for cars are removed as a result. Lorenda Reddekopp is following this story and joins us now from Bloor West. Lorenda, what have you learned about this?
Well, Dwight, we received a big package of documents, internal government documents, talking about this being under consideration. And then we went to several government sources who all said that, yes, the government is talking about this and considering this. I mean, this is such a hot button issue, especially where I am right now. This is Etobicoke, right along Bloor Street, where there are right now separated bike lanes, one on each side. And this gets people passionate on both sides of the argument. As well, this is right in Premier Doug Ford's riding, in his hood. So this is something that he has also talked about. Previously, it was around a year ago that he talked about wanting these bike lanes to be gone. So certainly not a surprise that the government would be thinking about this. We did speak with the transportation minister today. The government did refuse to comment on our request yesterday, but he had an appearance on another issue. So we went and asked questions as well. Other media outlets are following our story. He pretty much evaded all the questions. But then the very last one, when a reporter said, look, you are evading the questions, and tried to get him to say at least something. Take a listen.
Every mode of transportation, my option as a minister, my job as a minister of transportation is to make sure people have choice. Whether you want to take a bike, whether you want to you ride public transit, whether you want to drive on a highway to get to work, our government is making sure you have that choice and options to get to whether it be to work, whether it be to a Jays game, or whether it be to visit your family. We need to have those options.
Now, those government documents, they suggested that this could be part of legislation that's to come later this fall. Now, we don't know at what stage those documents are at, whether this has gone to cabinet yet, but the Premier did recently talk about that there will be some sort of game changer coming when it comes to transportation.
What kind of reaction are you getting from folks on the street after hearing about this, Lorenda?
Well, certainly we've heard from both sides. Initially, we went to an expert who's looked into bike lanes and said, these aren't something that really reduce congestion. And that is actually one thing in those documents that is mentioned as a possible risk, that this may not reduce congestion. But it is one thing that a lot of people point to when they are stuck in traffic, that, they blame the bike lanes. But we spoke with that expert. He really raised issues with the potential of lives being lost. But he said this isn't a surprise to him that the Ford government would be looking at this.
This government has signaled that the car is king. They have focused on it in their last election. They based a lot of their policies around making driving easier and more affordable. You can win elections in Ontario by showing that you're supporting driving. Driving is the main mode that most people use to get around. People are frustrated with the level of congestion, and that's understandable. We have a real issue around traffic. We have the third worst congestion in the world by some measures. So it's terrible. But I think targeting bike lanes, which have been shown to have a very minimal impact, if any, and actually are making the roads safer and providing other options, is really not an appropriate way to be going.
Then I talked with a local group here that's really frustrated with these bike lanes. They say they are cyclists that make up their group, both cyclists and drivers, but they don't see it as appropriate here along this stretch of Bloor. Take a listen.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the province stepping in. It's been here, especially, it's been atrocious. It's been nothing short of horrendous. The design and implementation of this lane has been awful. It's harmed thousands and thousands of people in our community, and it doesn't make any sense. Anybody that comes out here can see by looking at it how awful it has been. We have, seniors who can't have, we have seniors that are having problems accessing businesses. The accessibility factor for people with disabilities is awful, and we have congestion nonstop here.
Now, there has been a little bit of political reaction already to this. The Green Party not in favor of the government going forward with this. I also want to mention a couple other things that are in these documents. 24/7 highway construction for priority highway projects, one of those being Highway 413, and another one specifically related to Highway 413, changing environmental assessments, not requiring them for early works on that highway. Dwight?
Yeah, not that busy on Bloor right now, but we do see it in the rush hours. Thank you for this, Lorenda.